Assalamualaikum, hi and namaste to all the viewers tuning in for this special women's podcast. अगर मैं काउंट करूँ तो एपिसोड नंबर 20 है and this specific women's podcast will be all things around Australian women's team tour to India, historic tour. As a neutral fan, as a Pakistani, it was delight to watch. Although I missed few chunks of matches, the reasons I have explained on my Twitter handle. But anyway, thank you for tuning. Um, Without any further ado, let me warmly welcome Prajin all the way from India. I am very much delighted, very much thrilled, and of course, would say big warm welcome to Prajin. He is doing wonderful work on his own Twitter handle and his YouTube channel, Women Crick Craze, Twitter page पे है इनका. Please do give a huge follow. So yeah, Prajin, thank you so much for joining. क्या हाल चाल है?
Yeah, thank you, Ahmad. That was so lovely to hear. So, thank you for inviting me, first of all, and also, uh, you're doing a wonderful job with all rounders. And recently I got to know about the page, and yeah, you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot. Viewers, you can also get involved in the chat. Please make sure to get involved in the chat. प्राचीन अभी थोड़ी देर में इंडियन वुमेन्स प्लेयर्स की परफॉर्मेंसेस को रेट करेंगे. Of course, we will have a short touchdown on each series first of all, just to put out the opening statements. Then rate करेंगे प्राचीन. Please make sure to have your agreements, disagreements, all sort of chat would be featured live on the show. And there is a poll running in the chat as well, a kind of hot topic. It reads as, should Harmanpreet be removed as captain? Options are, of course, obvious and yes or no. Have your say in the live poll as well. So, Prajin, let's start. आपके instant reactions देते हैं. Like, of course, आपको एक दिन और भी मिल गया to have second thoughts, third thoughts about the whole tour. अगर whole tour की बात करें, what were your expectations before the series? Like, ODI series में, test series में, like, of course, one off test match कहेंगे. And talking about the T20 series, so what were your expectations, and has Indian team exceeded or like receded those expectations? So yeah, Prajin, over to you.
Yeah, expectations like obviously it's against Australia, so you are expecting them Australians to have the upper hand. But then again, Indian women's team was not having match time for a long time because after the like Asian Games and Bangladesh series, we were most of the players were playing domestic cricket. Harmanpreet Kaur was playing WBBL, and then that many players like JEMIMAH, DEEPTI, all of them were playing domestic cricket, but that won't be same as how you play the international game. So they were a bit rusty, to be honest. But I did not accept a bit from them to perform in the test matches like that. So after seeing the test performance, I expected them to do a bit good in the ODIs as well as T20Is. So that was a bit disappointing. But the way they started and kicked off the tour was it was pretty special for the fans, and it was very refreshing to see uh, many players coming and playing that I am like playing the England series. And after that, coming to this Australian series, um, about the test, the expectations were uh,
Yeah.
high because uh, they had a win against one of the best teams, England. So obviously, we are expecting them to do good. But again, uh, India always have the upper hand against England recently. So uh, against Australia, it would be different, and it would be challenging. But they handled it quite well, and everyone lived up to expectations. India won the match by 8 wickets, so it was quite refreshing to see.
Yeah, kind of echo your thoughts and nicely put. Okay, there are two ways to dissect upon, like digress upon, I would say. Um, let's have start on positive note, and that is one of that. Of course, Prajin ने mention out कर दिया अपने opening note में, but let's have a little bit of a more discussion and I really wanted to have discussion over स्नेह राणा जो player of the match भी बनी. Uh, okay, Prajan, exciting test match it was. Of course, I missed, I would say, but rewatching the highlights, rewatching, like rereading the articles and the stuff around that test match, wonderful, wonderful spectacle it was. Of course, for the आखिरी दिन तक match it was really good. But we have to talk about a wonderful women's cricketer for India, that is Sneh Rana. 46 for 5 on eve of fourth day. Australia, of course, lead कर रही थी उस time. But then Gayakwad and Sneh Rana ने वो web बांध दिया Australian women's cricket के around. So, ja, have your memory recollections around the whole test match and do talk about on Sneh Rana performance in that particular match.
Mhm. Yeah, so about the test match, to be honest, I did not expect India to um, uh, get the Australia's all out for like 219 in the first innings. And the way Talia Magdat was batting in the first innings, she was almost seeing it as a T20 game. She was bashing the bowlers around and everywhere. But then again, the
Yeah.
way Pooja Vastrakar came back and hit those hard length, taking Alice Perry wicket in her first like in a first ball of Puri, and then uh, getting the wicket of Mooney by deploying the short ball, and then getting Sutherland in the same way, and also Ashley Gardner. So these four wickets were more crucial, and I would say like Sneharana, she contributed equally with her 3 4 56 if I'm not wrong, or for 22 overs. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Sneharana is someone we always put the money on when it's at like to bowl those in those difficult situation, whether it's ODI or Test or whatever it is. Right from the time she made her debut um, in England last year, not last year, before last year. So right from there, uh, she has always performed whenever she has got a limited opportunity, and she is one of the senior most players in the team. So it was quite refreshing to see her step up to the occasion, and the way she was able to turn the ball along with Deepti. So that was brilliant from
Mm,
Sneharan in the first inning, and also she continued that again in the second innings and uh, with 4 4 63 and like and yeah, she's a big match player.
Uh, so wonderfully put, so wonderfully put. And yeah, uh, since 1977, of course, when India women and Australia women have started test cricket with each other, it was first time India beat them in 11 matches, if I am not mistaken. So yeah, kudos, wonderful scenes those were. जब वो ट्रॉफी लिफ्ट किया मनप्रीत ने and all those group photos, wonderful, wonderful spectacle, and just watching as Pakistan fan because I myself haven't watched our team playing Test cricket, so it was like kind of bittersweet moment. Of course, आप एक तरफ appreciate कर रहे होते हैं, but at the same time you're missing your own team. But hopefully one day our Test cricket is rejuvenated as well. Moving forward, okay. uh, आते हैं शॉर्ट फॉर्मेट पे. शॉर्ट फॉर्मेट की समरी. Of course, Indian women team lost by 3-0. One-sided matches, those were like last होता one-sided ही हुए. uh, for Blitzfield की एक century भी हुई, that was wonderful. Again, watching back on highlights. अब इसमें digression करते हैं, but we have created a little bit of segment over there. Let me put on the screen again, Prajin, and then I will get your inputs. And here you go with the screen. I think so. We should be able to put it out. Yeah. So Prajin, we are trying to play a wheel of blame. Basically, चार्ट फॉर्मेट्स में जो लॉसेस हुई, चार फैक्टर्स आपको दिए जा रहे हैं. आइदर इट इज बैटिंग, either it is bowling, either it is fielding, और जो आप सिलेक्शन कह लो या मैनेजमेंट कह लो, तो चार फैक्टर्स हैं, उनके दरमियान आपने ब्लेम लाइक एक तरह से कंट्रीब्यूट या डिवाइड करना है. सो विच फैक्टर, विच परफॉर्मेंस फैक्टर या कोचिंग कह लो, would have the highest rank than the lower. So yeah, have yours.
Yeah, so firstly, I would say that Richa Ghosh played beautifully in all these three matches, and it was something which surprised me that why they're sending her at number three position because after a long time, after facing all those collapse and not having a finisher in the World Cup on 2017 as well as in the Commonwealth Games and 2020 World everything. After all those years, we have finally got someone in Richa Ghosh who could go big and finish the matches. And I was not able to understand what the thought process behind sending her at number three. Yes, she made a well made 96 in the second ODI, but I was not able to figure out those things because if someone who's capable of finishing the matches is playing at number three, then there won't be any players who should be finishing the match. Which of course Pooja Vastrakar is there, but I have my like um, my kind of thoughts about Pooja Vastraka coming up the order a little bit, but I'm not a big fan of her coming up the order again because we have seen she tend to face a lot of dot balls while coming up. So first factor I would say that is all about like Richa Ghosh being sent at the top because those roles can be played by someone like Jemima, and even if Deepti is taking a lot of balls. It can be done by Deepti up to certain points. So otherwise, they could have gone for someone like Harleen Dior, who could have mastered that um, uh, role of taking the game towards the end. So I would say sending Richa at the top was a poor decision from the management.
Mm.
Also,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. So you are rating selection or management as the most influential factor to your losses in shorter format, right?
Yeah, but tactically, even in the T20s, we have seen the last match yesterday. We have seen them sending Deepti ahead of Amanjot Kaur or someone like Pooja Vastrakar or even Shreyanka Patil to say because the intent she showed in the second T20 like was quite brilliant because she's someone who tried to plays with intent and push beyond her limits. She's not someone who strongs down the ground, but she tries to show manufacture the shots behind the wicket as well. It's all good because end of the day you need runs and no matter how it comes. So the intent is what is missing from Deepti because whenever she bats, she tends to forget that she has the offside to play because every time she comes she tries for one shot that is logs and but for staying in the crease without losing a wicket she is a good player. I'm not saying that she doesn't have the ability, but even when we go to domestic sides, she's playing for Bengal and there she's opening the batting and someone who opened the
Yeah.
batting in the domestic side and someone who bats there, it is very tough for them to come and play at the role of a finisher in the national side. So I think she should be trying to play more as a finisher whenever she get a chance to play for Bengal as well as in the WPL she can try it for UP Warriors as well. So by that she can earn more experience in that position and that's the only way she is improving. Otherwise I don't see her playing that role because we are making someone who doesn't have the almost have the ability to play as a finisher. She's a touch player, she's a good player, but I think she's not someone like Richa Ghosh to go big shots or something. Yeah. So I think either she should be sent below Pooja. Otherwise, yeah, I don't see batting wise she getting a chance.
Okay, so I think so it is perfect time after the opening thoughts on all the formats. अब time हो जाता है when Prajin will be uh, rating. Uh, there are 14 players in the bar, like players bar. दो players missing. The only it is one of them and एक और उन्होंने एक ही ODI खेला था. So I have just not placed them in because sample size is far too smaller to rate them on basis of just one audience. So excuse me for excluding them out, but we have all other 14 players. So let's start with Yastika Bhatia. Uh, mm, Test match भी खेला and then ODI भी खेला. So how would you rate her performance in those two formats? Good, average, or bad? Have you
Yeah, I would say that she was good in the test match because not like I'm rating her as average though because that is something not which we expect from Yastika because after the start she got in the first match like 49 of 64. I was expecting her to build on it and go for a big score, but I'm a bit disappointed with the talent she possesses because that's a kind of a player she is. So should have build on the innings. The start she got of 49 of I think she got out on 49 of 64 in the first
what is
inning.
that?
So should have converted it, and we are expecting it to happen from a player like her. So I am placing in an average.
Okay. Then test match में इनकी बहुत अच्छी performance रही alongside स्नेह राणा and that we are talking about Rajeshwari Gayakwad. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong to all the Indian viewers. But yeah, अगली बारी इनके I am excited to know about her ratings because sample size is kind of small. But let's see how you figure out her rating. So yeah, Prajin, have your say.
Yeah, so from Rajeshwari Gaikwad, as the scorecard says, in the first inning she didn't got any wickets, but she bowled brilliantly. Some drop catches were also there, if I'm not wrong. So and some I think
Yeah.
one review was not taken. I don't remember exactly, but she bowled brilliantly. The line and length were too brilliant that. She deserved the wicket in the first innings and she got those wickets in the second innings. Actually, she was able to close out the match and she was able to take two wickets. Yeah, she was able to take two wickets for uh, 42 runs, and um, she even that bold dismissal of Kim Karth and also Jess Jonathan. Those were the two wickets she got, and that were those were brilliant lines. And the way she set up for that wicket, that was even brilliant. And she actually deserved after the first innings. My initial thoughts were she deserved a wicket, and she got that in the second innings. So I am placing her in the again the average um, because
Mm,
in the the
that is
wicket
no
she got
problem.
was uh, of
Yeah.
the middle over order batters. But early in the innings, I was expecting her to pick a couple of wickets because you expect your premier left-hand spinner to take wickets off those premier batters. But yeah, she bowled brilliantly, but she was unable to take wickets in the first inning. So I was again placing in the average.
Okay. Two average performances to start off the tier list. I can guess where we are going with next player. Sneh Rana, test match, player of the match in first ever test victory over Australia. We have talked about her, so yeah, shortly conclude your thoughts if you have anything further to add on her performance. And why, I really wanted to ask why she isn't the part of shortest format setup anymore.
So first of all, let's talk about her performance. And talking about the
Okay.
performance, I think again, as you said, she took 7 wickets in those two innings, and I would like her to place in the good. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
because yeah, she is for me. She is the player of the series, and she got it too. So yeah, every time you require some wickets breakthroughs, she brings it, and she picks the top players of Australia. She picked the wickets of top players of Australia. So and also the way she night watched in the second innings, that was brilliant. Along with Smriti Mandhana, she took almost 50 plus balls just to score 7 runs. That was brilliant from someone like her because from whatever I have seen in the domestic circuit, she is someone who likes to go from ball one. She likes to bust the ball. She's not a really good lover of defensive shots, but the way she changed her approach for when the team required. That was very much good to see from someone like her. So she's a utility player who could be more used with, should be used with the bat more in the upcoming test matches. So I'm placing her in a good. And thing you asked about, she's not part of the T20I setup. Is only thing I can say is, right now there is Deepti who is uh, kind of in the team because of her bowling. So
Yeah, well,
even
yeah.
if she is not good on her batting side, she provides breakthroughs and she provides those crucial wickets. So along with that, Shreyanka, who has been performing brilliantly, is another off spinner. And uh, any day there is Minu Mani, who is also in the squad, who is yet another off spinner who is waiting for a chance. So I don't see Snerana getting a chance in the upcoming T20s as well. There are a lot of off spinners up and coming. So right now till the T20 World Cup, I hope they persist with Deepti and Snerana in the 11. I don't want another off spinner playing in the 11, because that bowling attack will be very much one dimensional.
Oh, yeah, wonderful thoughts. Then rising sensation, like she left a mark in the T20 specifically और पहले मैच में, and we are talking about TITAS साधु, 4 विकेट्स ली, crucial wickets ली, big players थी और crucial time पे ली, and she really felt like as a neutral watching, she has a dog on her. Like I am using the with the inverted comma, of course, the image. So yeah, I am very impressed by her. She has got the pace, she has got the variety, she has got the composure, and to ball in all zones of T20 match is a wonderful, wonderful trait to have. So. But we have to talk her throughout the full series, I would say. So where is going in that tier list?
Yeah, so she has been brilliant right from the under 19 World Cup. She rattled the England lineup in the final, and also her debut, and the year she had 2023, she helped India win the Asian Games gold medal. So that was brilliant performance in the final against Sri Lanka. So and then yeah, so for her to come and perform like this against Australia, because she had a tough match against England, and I did not accept her to get up from there and come back and do this, that too against some team like Australia, because when we look at the scorecard, she has removed the batters like Beth Mooney, Talia McGrath, Ashley Gardner, and Annabelle Sutherland. So she would have got a five if that decision was not overturned for Wareham. Uh, so she is also coming from Bengal, someone who played under the mentorship of Julian Goswami for most part of her career. So she still play. Julian Goswami is still the mentor of Bengal. So Tita Sadhu has always said how she helped her to develop into a good bowler. And yeah, I will place her on good, because for a youngster to come and pick up those 4 wickets and four, like, in that sort of a match, and uh, push in Australians, it was very good. So yeah.
Okay, so I would say Prajin is going with balancing out the things. Started with two averages and two goods to bounce back. So yeah, we are having a wonderful combination out here. Uh, Talking about the bowling unit, she used to ball alongside Renuka Singh. So yeah, have your thoughts on her performances.
Talking about the test match, I expected Renuka to do a bit more good, because Pooja was picking a wicket from one end, so there was no reason why Renuka couldn't pick up wickets, because right from her debut to till now, she has been the best bowler for India, and biggest thing that happened to India in 2022. So. Um, Even but I think she's a condition friendly bowler. Like in pitches of Australia and England, she tends to do well. But when it comes to the pitches in India, she's a bit down. So when the ball is not moving, I don't see her getting much wicket. So um, coming from a player like her, I was expecting a bit. She obviously she removed Alisa Hill in that match. Uh, uh, she removed Ali Sahil is wicket in the first T20. That was obvious to get Ali Sahil because whenever they face each other, RENUKA has always had the upper hand. Uh, but I was expecting her to do a bit more good with the ball because of kind of the kind of talent she possesses. So I would say that I would place her. Uh, I can't see the screen. So yeah. Um, to be honest, I would say that I would place her in bad because. I
Okay,
was
okay.
expecting because it's all because
We
of the
will have
expectations.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
it's
don't
okay.
worry. We will have that screen. So you're putting it in average, right?
I am putting it in bad because it's all because of the expectations and kind of
Oh,
player she is. Yeah, so I was expecting her to do a bit more good.
okay. Fine, fair enough. Let me put out the screen again. Sorry. Delay, but we will be having it back. Okay. Renuka goes to bat first player. Again, so five players in all the slots have one player at the bare minimum. Now that is a player I really like after watching in England series as well, and then in Australia series, that is Shreyanka Patil. Uh, okay, people will talk about her bowling, but she is a really, really good fielder on the boundary as well. Took some brilliant catches in T20 series, to be precise. The energy she brings in, again, I am talking about tangibles. Prajin will more so talking about stats or technical side of things. But I really look forward every time India are playing. I really look forward to her watching. So yeah, have your say on Shriyanka Patel.
Yeah, so Shreyanka Patel was is a lively character just like Jemima, and she was uh, too much good in her ODI debut that she made. I think it was in third ODI, where she took 3 wickets for just 57 runs, and that too she took the wickets at crucial times. And wickets like Mooney, McGrath again, just like how TITAS SADHU has picked the wickets in the first T20I. Sriyanka also picked up the big wickets. I should say like Beth Mooney, McGrath. And having said that, who is not a big wicket in this deadly Australian side? So to get all these players out for and Mooney for just 3 runs and McGrath for a duck, and that was brilliant from Sriyanka. So apart from that, her performance in T20 were really good, especially the way she tried to score runs behind the wicket with the bat when she got the batting in the second T20I, and the only ball she faced. I think it's only ball she faced in the first T20 where she did a reverse paddle sweep and that went to the boundary. So we saw in the WIPL how an animated batter she is, and the way she gets those Yorkers on point every time she bowls is a skill that she mastered over the years. And I have seen her progress right from domestic to international circuit, and um, those days itself we all knew like should go on to become a star. So uh, uh, even though she went for runs in the last two T20Is, definitely caught us see some of misfields from the Indian team. So I would rate her in the good side because it is her debut series, and it not a debut series. She debuted in England series, if I'm, yeah. So, but still against Australia, it's a first time, and to go on like that and bowl those whenever the captain asks you, you have to bowl those death overs, and I would be really. I'm looking forward to see her progress as a death over bowler. So she's nailing those Yorkers well. So I am going to rate her in the good position. because yeah,
Okay,
yeah, for even
good
for the
category,
fielding
right?
alone, even for the fielding alone, I can rate her in the good cat.
Yeah, yeah. I was anyway going to put her in good category because of my bias towards her. So
I know
yeah,
you would. I know
nice
you
of
would have
nice of
ended the show here if I have put it in a bad position.
No, no. I think so. The next play we are talking about, if we compile up all the performances, I know Titas Sadhu created an impact in different way, like announcing her arrival in a way. But I think so. Deepti Sharma is kind of devising the opinion in fan base, like Indian fan base, and what I have read about. Even the ratings provided by Ritvika in T23 is really divided her opinion. But I think so. She has been your best performer, I would say, like the best performer if we compile up all the three formats. Do you agree with that statement, or do you expect more from her? And I think so. Her role in the team hasn't been much clear. She should be batting a little bit more high, specifically in the T20Is. So yeah, I think so. You have lot of talking points regarding her. So yeah, floor is yours with Deepti Sharma.
Regarding Deepti Sharma, I think it's a bit confusing to rate her in this table. Actually, we would need separate tables for batting and bowling, because that's really her state within the team as well. Like, the clarity is missing, and obviously her role is quite uh, uh, that I don't think she's having much clarity about her role, because every time she comes, she doesn't look to score. She looks for singles, and uh, I am not really aware of what kind of role she's doing in the team. Like, is it like rotating the strike and giving it back to someone like Richa Ghosh, or Pooja Vastakar, or is the coaching staff asking her to hit from ball one? But I have seen that in one of the ODIs, but then again she went back to her shell and she tried play staying on the crease more rather than going for a shot. So batting wise, I would like to praise her. In the bat, obviously, if there was one column below the bat, I would have placed her there only. But um, to say the way she bats in the test match, I would say she's the best, our best. If there was a test rankings or something, she would have been the number one test batter. So, mm, to mixing the format, I'm not a big fan of format mixing. So still, I would say that from how the batting she where she did the batting in test matches, and the bowler in she is that is whenever the team needs breakthroughs, wickets, she comes and delivers. So bowling wise, I'll place her in good, and batting wise, I'll place her in bad, just for the limited format. So I'll place her somewhere in average. So yeah.
Oh yeah, wonderful. The way you manipulated it out, really loved listening out. That is the beauty of whole show, having you alongside. Next two players, I think so. We won't be having much discussion, but one thing is for certain. I would say specifically, I would say around Kanika, or even to much extent the Amanjot Kaur. I think so. Their spots are under pretty much threat, I would say, in short term future. They haven't been performing that much, and like consecutive matches as well. Ritvika was having same thoughts as well regarding them too. So yeah, first of all, let's have Amanjot. Yeah, I think so. It is Amanjot. So yeah, please go ahead with these two players first by Amanjot, then Kanika.
I think this regarding Amanjot, she is someone who can be given a long rope in the shorter formats, because I have seen her progressing from um, progressing from the domestic circuits and scoring big. Uh, she was the captain of Chandigarh back then, and from there scoring all those runs and earning her place in the national setup. She did a really good job. And in the South African series when she debuted, she impressed a lot of people with the way she scores, and I think she scored some 40 odd runs in that first debut match. So um, to for a player like her who bats at the top order and come and play again, just like Deepti, come and play, show the intent, go for the shots. It was very much good to see someone like her performing, and even for the I think in the franchise point of view, she hasn't been getting more chances from with the MI. So I did not expect her to come and perform like this all of a sudden in the international stage. So I think we should persist with Amanjot because she is a great asset to the team, especially the way she feels putting in all the hard yards and mm, those dives and catches, everything. And bowling is an extra skill, I would say, and she need to be molded into a finish, not a finish. If not a finisher, someone who can support the finisher
Yeah.
and score those crucial boundaries. So should be sent ahead of Deepti any day, and can be given a long rope in the shorter form. But this is just a starting series for her, so I don't think that it would be really harsh for if we drop. Amanjot Kaur, and her batting has been really impressive for me. Just for me, others might not feel the same way, but for me, she has been doing good with the bat, and I would like to continue with her at least till the T20 World Cup.
Okay, so how about the ratings?
Right? I think just average. We can go with average.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fair enough, fair enough. And what about
I
Kanika?
think Kanika Ahuja hasn't played in the series, so she was not part of the series. So I don't know
Huh.
whether to rate her or not. But as a
Yeah,
player,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's move along. Let's move
yeah,
along. Sorry
yeah,
for yeah, yeah.
it's okay, it's
My
okay.
bad for getting it wrong. No, I think so. Arguably, we can say uh, Richa Ghosh has been like in T20I series alongside TITAS. Some may argue she was the wonderful performer. I really love her energy. Again, I am talking about intangibles, but her wicket keeping is really, really good. Safe pair of hands, agility is really, really good. And of course, last T20I, even in the second T20I, she scored crucial runs. First T20I, I'm not recollecting it right, but anyway, she scored crucial runs in the and that too when rescue job was needed pretty much like India got off to flyers and then few wickets fell and then all of a sudden you really need to pick up anti as well and then score crucial runs. So again, safe pair of hands as I mentioned. How this tour has went for her.
Yeah, Richa Ghosh has really progressed from a finisher to a top order, but I think that's how we should say. Barring the T20s, I think I am not a big fan of her coming up the order, whether it's for the Test match or for the ODIs,
Yeah, yeah.
or the T20s. So I did not like her coming up the order. That I'm not a big fan because she is one of the best finishers that India has. Not one of the best. She is the best finisher that India has. And when she was thrown into a situation like that in that ODI, where she scored, I think it was the second. I think it was the second ODI or third ODI. I'm not so sure about that. Uh, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it was second ODI only. Yeah, second ODI. So where
Okay.
she scored those 96 runs of 117 balls, and was not getting any
Oh,
support
yeah,
from the
yeah.
other end, and the way team went on to lose, and she missed her century, and that's something which I really liked about her because she was thrown into that those kind of a situation, and she came up with she's more mature now, so she knows her role. She ticks those singles and plays long. She's good on building those um, big innings. As much as I liked her innings, but uh, it's all up to the team to send where, whichever position that suit her well. So, but according to performance, she has done more than good, and I think the best batter on show in this entire tour.
Yeah, wonderfully put, and I already predicted it out to be good.
I knew that.
So yeah, it made the job easier.
Next time you have to be you have to create another collab. Very good.
Okay, okay, sure, sure. We will be having that. There are a lot. We need to separate them out. But what we will do is like placing them in alongside and then ranking them one by one.
Oh,
So it
okay.
would be, yeah, yeah.
Just kidding.
But next time we surely be having another category. That I think so. The next play we are talking about top score for Indian side. I know Fab Litchfield scored the highest runs in ODI series, but from Indian side she was a highest run getter, and that is Jemimah Rodriguez. Farm, like I did mention in on my Twitter handle as well, like 17 matches has gone since she scored 50, but she is getting runs for six scores of 40 plus, I would say. So as much as she is not in good form or good patch, but she still is scoring crucial runs. T20 series was not up to the standards. So how would you sum up her performance? Um, like she is my favorite batter to watch out, but every time I do watch, she like struggles. I don't know if I am to blame.
So she before this tour she had that England series, and before England series she scored the bulk of runs in domestics
Yeah,
and led Mumbai
yeah,
to
yeah.
title. It was the
Asia
first
Cup,
time.
like Asian Games, she was good as well. Yeah.
Yeah, she was good in the Asian games, and whenever the pitch has little bit of turn and it is tough to score runs, she's the one batter you should put your money on to come good. So in those Bangladeshi pitches, which is very much poor to be honest. So I am
Yeah.
she would be my first player to be in the team, and I am predicting now that she'll end up highest run scorer in this World Cup if if this comes
Wow.
correct, because
Fingers
the
crossed.
way she rotates the strikes, and the way she rotation of the strike is the best important thing, and where she counters the spin, that is we saw that in the test match as well, where she scored I think 73 in the first innings of the test match. Yeah. And yeah, the way she plays, where she approaches her innings, like every time I see her, she's uttering some words before she's batting. I think she's praying every time after before every ball. I haven't seen that from every players. Like I have noticed this sometimes, and she's talking to herself. That's all those things, and that's the really something I like about her. She's someone who thinks a lot with her my inner mind, and like she has scored. Gladly, she had a rough patch of time before this year, but
Yeah.
last year I think she was the leading run scorer for India, especially on those tricky pitches in Asia. So in this tour as well for the ODIs in the first ODIs to save India from that kind of a position to score 82 of 77, and even when she was not well. To be honest, she was in a bit of dehydration because those conditions were extremely tough to bat, and the way she
Yeah.
had a partnership with Pooja Vastrakar of 62 not out of who scored 62 not out of 46. Yeah, and I think JEMIMAH scored 82 of 77, and that was quite brilliant. And yeah, she is very much good, and someone who can be considered for the captaincy in which
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's a bit
So,
controversial, but yeah.
yeah, yeah, very much controversial take, but I really back you. Anyway, I missed the rating from your side on Jemima.
I place her in average though, because after all
Okay.
those performance, when it comes to the T20 I was expecting her to do a bit good because of the experience she
Yeah.
has in the international leagues, and also the way she scored runs for Mumbai, leading them into title in the domestics, and
Yeah.
also Yeah, also having those three matches in the England series, but again, for some reason, she was able to get those quick starts in the matches against Australia, but not able to capitalize. And one thing the Australians exploited is her weakness, that is a short ball. Uh,
Huh.
Annabelle Sutherland was uh, good enough to deploy the short ball, and Jemima falling into the trap. We saw that in the last T20. So I would want her to do well in these kind of bouncy tracks as well. But for now, the T20 World Cup is in Bangladesh, so I wouldn't mind her not scoring runs in this series. So yeah, still I'll place her in average.
Yeah. Okay. Now that is the player. I think so. We should have discussion around her now. You have kind of given hints where we are going with Harmanpreet, and it is like one like the most predictable amongst all those players where she will be going. I let me place her before you go. Before you go. So. And of course, just to put out her stats, 27 runs in 7 matches. Yeah, 3 plus 1. 17, 9, and 1. So 27, yeah. Hopefully, I'm getting maths right. Not a good series to have. Just won the historic test match. But in T20, which I watched more closely, her tactics were questionable as well on few occasions. Antics, I am not getting into it. It is just the English or like European media bias towards her. So yeah, you are in favor to remove her from the captaincy. And what does she needs to do different to like first of all get her batting stats better?
Um, Captaincy wise, I am not removing her just because this is a T20 World Cup year, and it would be really tough for a new captain to come and know all these players.
After all
And
that hype you put on Jemima.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I would say Jemima is more suited to captain the longer format. So this is T20 Ice. And
Okay.
also,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, uh, I wouldn't want to put the team in a dilemma where they need to adapt under a new captain, and also the captain, uh, um, uh, barring her, the players who are eligible for captaincy as Mandhana, and I see Jemima as a captain, but not in a like it should be for the future, of course. And I always say it's Mandhana, and I'm not a big fan of her captaincy as well. So. Um, I think we shouldn't take a risk by removing Harman from captaincy. That is my personal opinion. I will agree with those people who think otherwise, because there are reasons to think so. So I wouldn't remove her from captaincy uh, just because it's a World Cup year, and don't want to
Yeah, yeah.
add extra pressure. So having said that, her as a batter should really improve in the shorter formats. Especially in this for ODIs and T20Is, where she, I think only one innings she scored. Even versus England, she scored, I think, 26 of 21 balls. That's the only time she
Yeah,
crossed double scores in the last two series, limited over series. Other all the other occasions, all the other 7 occasions she has got out on single digits. So that is not what you expect from a captain of a team like India. So having said that, the talent she possesses and where she can destroy the bowling lineup um, when she is in her form. When she is in form, that those are the things that we need to take into consideration, and it's just a matter of time
yeah,
before she performs well, because once you are into a good position to score, you the runs will keep coming. And what I think is that she should be looking to score more on offside rather than going just for shots
yeah,
on leg side, because one thing I noticed from her is the tendency to go for big shots and shots through leg side, because once she starts to play through offside, there is only less players in the world who can play better than her and clear those long boundaries in offside as well. We have seen that in the England tour before last year, the away series, so where she scored 100. And also, I am expecting her to do well, and she and regarding her captaincy. I think the field placements were really poor in the T20Is. I have tweeted about that
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well. Because when Litchfield, someone like Litchfield was scoring down the covers all day long, you should have a sweeper there. So some that those are some
yeah.
tactical kind of decisions which was missing from her part, and she is a good captain, and it is just a matter of time before she start to perform. But having said that, without the performance, I don't know how long she could survive in that team, because there are players eyeing up for that sport as well.
Okay. Uh, Enough discussion about Harmanpreet. Wonderful points, I must say, you raised about her captaincy and her batting as well. Next batter, I will give a shout out to Skinnanas, her favorite batter from Indian batting lineup, and that is Samriti Mandhana. uh, top scored in Test match as well, top scored in T20 series as well, although on like a little bit of slow strike rate, I would say, because you're batting in power play, your strike rate got to have been better. But one can guess why is she batting with slow strike rate, because Shafali Verma on the other end was doing the uh, uh, power hitting or boundary striking job. So yeah, overall a good tour, one must say for her, like series for her.
I must say this has been a pretty poor tour for her. Um,
Okay,
even though she scored the
surprise.
run, um, even though she scored the runs, no, I'm actually keeping her in the average, not in the bad, because of the test
Okay.
match. And yeah, because of the test match and that first match where she was off to a quick start. I think that was
Yeah,
second ODI. Yeah, she was off to a quick start, bashing the bowlers and scoring a six also. So that much she was good, but again, she is very well experienced, and she is someone who can score big. So if someone scores big, because takes the responsibility to score big, we have seen Elijah Perry doing that for Australia, and Nazi were doing that for England every now and then. So if one player who need to take the responsibility of scoring big, it should be Smriti Mandhana. At least I believe so. So for seeing her go out and struggling to score runs, especially playing a lot of dots and struggling
right.
to score those boundaries and going for those release shots, and poor choice of shot is the one thing that I think um, that has disturbed her, like refrain her from scoring big in this tour. And apart from those test matches, she has been really poor with the bat, and just for the test matches I will keep her in the average position. But Australians were really good in countering her plans, and Healy was really good placing a sweeper for her in the cover where she is so strong, and nullifying the scoring areas she has, and thereby forcing her to go over the top and go for a different
Yeah,
shot, and thereby for making a mistake. So every time Australian bowlers have got better of her, but um, as a batter, she has been in real poor display with the bat. And having said that, she has scored runs. That is the important thing. She has scored runs, but when we compare it with other players, we are expecting a little bit high. We have a high expectation from her. So I am keeping her in the average position, and I hope she comes back to her form, because she's one important player for India if they want to get to that World Cup winning position.
okay. And yeah, they were mentioning it during the broadcast as well that she struggles against off spinners
Off
as well.
spinners, yeah.
So it really is the area she needs to work on. Actually, Gardner stat, they were mentioning it again and again, if I'm recollecting it right. But anyway, let's
Yeah,
move
yeah.
towards the
She
last
has a weakness
player.
against Smriti, like off spinners,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
I don't think she has lost her wicket to off spinners in this tour. Um, it
yeah,
was more of
uh, uh, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Once I
Funnily
think
enough.
Alana King picked her wicket and once were harm. So it was more of leg spin in this tour, kind of different. But oh yeah,
Right.
from her previous records, she has Ashley Garden as an upper hand against her whenever she faces her. So
Yeah.
having those like just I mentioned like Jemima Rodriguez, those turning pitches in Bangladesh and her batting. Yeah, she should really work hard to get those free flowing runs growing because she is more suited to attack the pace bowlers than spinners. So yeah, let's wait and watch how it stands out her in that World Cup.
And I would say her batting partner or opening partner, I correct it, Shafali Verma. The way she was batting in the third match was a spectacle to watch. Just she got out earlier, but her intent was so good, and I really treated it. And I like my jinxing power was on different levels that day. But I really loved watching her bat. Shafali Verma, your ratings?
Again, I would place her in average because
Uh,
yeah, because of just how the way she batted in the T20s, there are only less batters in India who could be as explosive as Shafali Verma in the world as well, who could be as explosive as Shafali Verma once she finds her touch and the way she starts off the innings, that is unbelievable in some time when we are thinking. And in the first T20, the way she finished the innings and shown the maturity to stay there and play a long innings, finish the match. It was quite brilliant. Again, the last match, the way she got out, and I am not blaming her for throwing away her wicket because that's the way she plays. It should be that would give you success someday. That might not give you someday, but no matter what happens, I think team should persist with her. Because she can give you quick starts. She's the only player that can give you quick starts, and either she'll get out, and if she's staying there, she will take the opposition uh, all around the ground, so she can hit those big sixes as well. So I am rating her an average. Just because was not good enough in the test matches. Uh, because in her debut test match in England before last year, she was doing pretty good job. So I expected her to do a good job in these test matches, but she did not live up to expectations. And ODIs is one format which she struggles. And right after the first, it was a bit harsh on her, but right after the first match, she was removed from the playing 11, and Yastika was being replaced by Yastika. So I don't see her in the ODI setup going forward, and I agree with that quite well because it's regarding the technique. But in the T20, she is the best opener that India has ever produced, and um, she is someone who can play those big important. One thing she need to realize is how prized her wicket is in this team, and it would opposition is almost taking the match away from India when they get her wicket. So that's one thing she should keep in mind.
yeah. Okay. I think so we're pretty much done with the rating side of things. And one takeaway from that, even if you haven't watched any of match or like bits and pieces of whole tour, one thing, courtesy Prajin, you can guess from that figure is that Indian team like got outperformed because their core players didn't live up to their
Exactly.
standards even or the expectations. So like you can see Samriti is in average, Jemima is in average, Shafali is in average, Harmanpreet is in bad. So yeah, that really sums up for the audience if you haven't watched. Prajin, your parting thoughts or if you have any changes to make to that category list.
Any changes?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Changes in the sense within the good, average, and bad, or just swap the players.
Yeah, yeah. Overall, if you want to make any, if you are having any second opinion, if you want to have final change, or
Okay,
shall we
then
lock them
given a
in?
chance, okay, then I will place Jemima good because of her fielding, and that something has saved a lot of runs in this tour.
There you go. Here you go, the
Yes, because
bias,
whoever
the
feels,
ultimate
yeah,
bias.
yeah, not biased, but whoever feels in this team has my respect because they are known for those misfeeds, miscatches, and everything. But the way she fielded in those T20Is saved a lot of runs in the point. Yeah, point. I'm not sure. Yeah, and she's a brilliant fielder. Puts all the hard yards, and she yeah, and the way she did everything in test match. Yeah, maybe you can call me a little bit biased, but I am placing her on good.
Okay, I have few allegations over here, but anyway, these are on just lighter side. Uh, so yeah, with that, we are about to wrap up the show. It was wonderful, wonderful chatting to you, an hour-long chat, one sort of record specifically on women's podcast. Wonderful, wonderful chatting with you, Prajin. Nice to have your thoughts. And again, as I mentioned in my intro, again, I kept learning during the whole show. So big up to you, big up to your platform, Women Creek Grace. Have your parting thoughts? How do you felt about that show?
Uh, First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me once again, and I was really uh, um, it was really very much enjoyable to chat with you and talking about women's cricket. It's always excites me. So thanks for giving me this opportunity. And next time, I'm sure you will be having the rating chart for me as well, like good, bad, and average. So
Nice and yeah, yeah. Thank you for your kind words as well.
yeah,
And viewers,
yeah, and looking forward to more such conversations in future as well.
Yeah, yeah, surely, surely we will be locked in for more such conversation. Specifically, Women's Premier League is around the corner.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
know it is in late February, but anyway, it is around the corner. So we will be having Prajin back. But for
sure.
tomorrow, I will like to let the audience know our schedule. Tomorrow we will be uh, previewing. I thankfully I got it right because now we are reviewing. But today, tomorrow, we will be
Previewing.
previewing the Pakistan versus New Zealand men's series, which will start from 12th of January. Do log in for that show as well. And yeah, we will be having coverage for under 19 women tri series in the next women's podcast. Today was episode number 20. In episode number 21, we will talk about under 19 women tri series, and we will have another wonderful panel for that show as well. So, viewers, if you're watching us right now, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to our channel, or if you haven't subscribed already. Please give a follow to Prajin on his Twitter handle and on YouTube as well. And with that, myself and Pod along with Prajin would like to say goodbye. Viewers, Chitra, Salamat, and Allah.